We're back on Tri-State Sports Talk here on AM 730 KWOA. And, well, first time that we get a chance to catch them this year. And, of course, it's been a great year and hopefully a great weekend coming up here for the Southwest Huskerz football team. So we're talking now with head coach Ken McCuen. Coach, how are we doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. And yourself, Jared?
Coach, doing very, very well. And speaking of very well, that's kind of maybe an understatement of the Southwest Huskerz football team. You guys had another fantastic season, coming off a championship season last year. And, obviously, Ken, coming into this season, you knew you were bringing back a lot of talent, adding a few pieces as well. So, you kind of talked about it early on in the season, how you were, feeling really good about this group. And it sounds like they just came ready to play some football right away to start the year.
Yeah, well, Jared, I should say we, and myself, I couldn't even paint it a better picture than the one that's been painted for us, the last 2 years. And I didn't think we could really have a better team than last year, but I believe we're a better team this year. We haven't accomplished our goal yet, but the players and coaching staff and organization has been tremendous, and it exceeded so far my expectations.
What were some of the things that makes you better this year than you think?
Oh, I just believe we're, it's hard to say that you're not really a cohesive family last year, which we were, but that togetherness. And year two is sometimes always better. And coming off a championship year, that really proved itself to be true. Coming into this year, you kind of got the feel in the off season that this could be something really special, and it has been. And I believe that's because we've come together even closer as a family.
Huskerz finished the regular season a perfect 7-0. Again, really showing good dominance throughout the year. And I always think this team is kind of predicated on a couple of things. You do everything very well, but, I just think defensively, for me, it starts with your defense because, you guys have an aggressive attacking style, and, you really use that to your advantage to not only put the pressure on other teams' offenses, but obviously putting yourself in position to capitalize on their mistakes.
Yeah, and the one thing we've always created and tried to, make sure is that we stop the run first. We make teams one-dimensional and make them throw the ball. Because then we can put that heavy pressure on the other team, and that's held true for the last 2 years, and especially this year. We've been even more dominant as a defense. It's the sacks aren't all there, but you can see the turnovers are a lot more, and that shows the progression of your defense and how it's maturing into year two, and and a couple shutouts, and so what that shows me is that they're really maturing, and we have a lot of aggressive guys, but most of all, we have a lot of smart football players. And when you have that, and you have all 9 players on that side of the ball, knowing what each other's tendencies are, what they're doing, it makes everything a lot easier. And then you can just go and play football and use your talent, and that's what they've shown.
Imagine also then when you have a group of guys with a great IQ like that, you can also kind of throw more things at them too. Maybe just slight nuances defensively, and feel that they can, just pick up smoothly and integrate it right away.
Yeah, and as a unit, they've really gelled together. We got, if we think about it, we were missing, I believe, the best corner in the SPFL last year in Tyler Decker with 10 interceptions last year. Tyler was the best corner, one of the best corners I've ever coached in my life, and especially in the SPFL. And with 10 interceptions last year, and we were missing him this year because of family reasons, and he just couldn't commit to playing football this year. And we kind of, as a unit, and he was kind of highlighted last year, but as a unit this year, and Trey Diggs and Ricky Gutierrez and Troy Ectebon, and especially at the corner position, those three have really turned it on, and you can see their interceptions and their cover skills are really allowing our pass rush to really get to that quarterback, and that is the key. When you make that other team one-dimensional and throwing the ball, you obviously have to get to the quarterback to create turnovers. So, and that's what we have done a great deal of.
Talk a little bit about the guys up front then. Who anchors the defensive line this year for the Huskers?
Well, we kind of have the same unit. You know, we have Jordan Bow, and he has 15 sacks, our one defensive end. Our other defensive end is Mark Riley, and he leads the team in sacks with 19. Brian Schroeder has one of our defensive tackles with 11. But Levi Ossenfort and Eli Ackerman are really, and Brandon Hernandez, a new player this year, they don't get a lot of the credit because they do the dirty work in there, and but they make that defensive line go. And that defensive line, I would put them up against any offensive line in the nation because they're very aggressive and they know what they're doing. And then at my linebacker position, I didn't think we could get better at that either, and we did. We have the holdover from our defensive leader in Demetrius Washington, and I think he sits at about 68 tackles, solo tackles, which is quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he really puts everybody in the right position when things need to change on the field at the quick instant. And he really stuffs the run. And then, like I said, they become one-dimensional, and that's where we really step up our game is when the other team becomes one-dimensional. But the newest player, one of the new players that came over from the Albert Lee Grizzlies in the SPFL from last year to this year, came over to the Huskers, is Cole Reed. And Cole Reed has benefited from not only our defense, but I knew he had talent, and that's why I recruited him. And he leads the team with 8 interceptions, and he has 7 touchdowns.
Wow.
And that, in returning those interceptions, and that alone has created a different aspect, like I said, from last year to this year in the turnover ratio, and it's making teams very, very honest. And so he's really been a tremendous asset to what we're doing today. And I expect that whole unit come Saturday to do the same thing they've done all year.
Kind of speaking of defense and taking advantage of opportunities, then let's quickly talk about the opening round playoff game against the North Iowa Bucks. You win that one 90-0, and you look at that score, and I thought was just so impressive as you guys pretty much just scored every way you possibly could, kick return, punt return. I mean, if that's not, I would imagine as a coach, they just had to fill you with so much pride to see, again, the guys take advantage of opportunities and putting it in the barn any way they can.
Yeah, and it was a tremendous game, and that's what I wanted coming into the playoffs. I didn't want my team, our players, to, that we our first round games against the 8th seed, and to kind of go on cruise control. You could see they were hitting on all cylinders, Jared, and you pointed out that every phase of the game clicked. Every phase of the game was almost at 100%, and that's really good. You do make mistakes, but we've made very few mistakes in that game. And for our special teams to score, that was a huge thing, because last year we didn't score. We didn't score once on special teams, which is kind of unheard of a championship team, but we didn't. And there's skeptics out there that will say all day that, well, does it hurt your team to win 90-0? Does it kind of make them overconfident? And my answer to that is that absolutely not. Now, our motto is to be great in everything you do, and on and off the field. And they really showed that game. The skeptics will say, well, with that 90-0 win, like I just said, with the confidence, but the same skeptics will sit there and say, well, why did you, if you only won by 6 or 3 points, why did you only win by that? So I would rather score a ton of points and not give up any than to win by 3.
Yeah. I think every coach in America would take that in a heartbeat as well.
Right.
Well, before we kind of talk about more playoff stuff, I want to switch to offense. A lot of the guys obviously returning from last year, but I mean, the year Darian Smith has just had, I mean, he is, I don't know if I can find the right word. Amazing seems kind of almost like an understatement. I mean, the year again he's having after the great year last year, he's just been a force every game.
Yeah, I get goosebumps when I hear people talk about him, and the type of people see what he does on the football field. And obviously, to me and to a lot of other people, he's the MVP of this league. And but off the field, he's just a tremendous person. And all around, just a great person, great in the community, great father, great husband, and at 1,600 yards, and I believe 24 touchdowns so far, he's not to his goal yet. He's got one game to hit that goal, and that comes this Saturday, and he's got a lot of pressure on him. Because a lot of teams, every team, I shouldn't say a lot of teams, are focused on him and him solely, to shut him down. And so he raises above that equation. He doesn't allow, and he will always give it up to his offensive line. He always praises them. And that's a true running back. That's a true leader when they do that. And nobody asks him to do that. He just does it. But he needs to hit 2,000 yards in his mind this season. So we're looking at about 360 yards come Saturday.
Okay.
And 6 touchdowns to hit 30 touchdowns. That's his goal. He told me that in the preseason. His goal is to hit 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Them are lengthy goals, but he's there.
Yeah,
he's almost there.
And 9 games so far. I mean, it's just it's amazing.
And averaging 13.9 yards per carry. The 24 touchdowns. He knows how to get it in the end zone. He's a tremendous blocker for his quarterback. He's thrown a touchdown. He's kicked an extra point. What more can I say?
Yeah.
You said it. You said it perfectly. That amazing is an understatement. He is the true epitome to whatever. If you want your children to become a very, very solid person as they grow up and when they become an adult, that's the person that you want them to mirror completely, 100%. And I love that guy. I love my team. But he's really, really stepped it up a notch from last year, and I didn't think he could do better than he did last year, because last year was tremendous.
Yeah. Southwest Huskers last week beat the Panic to advance to this week's Southern Plains Football League championship game, where you get a very familiar opponent taking on the South Central Hogs from Truman, a rematch of last year's title game. And, of course, that'll be at Trojan Field this Saturday night. Coach, tell us a little bit about the Hogs. You guys won 35-13 over in Truman. I think two teams that obviously respect each other, but it is a rivalry game. And and kind of sprinkle the championship factor on top of that. You know, both teams definitely going to leave it all on the field on Saturday.
Oh man, is it going to be fun or what? Like you pointed out, it's a rivalry game. It's a rematch of last year's SPFL championship game. It's on our field again with our tremendous fans and community support. But we expect them to bring their A game because they better expect us to bring our A game because we will bring our A game. So they need to bring their A game. What I expect from them is nothing but 100% of what they do good, and then we'll battle on the football field.
Once again, the Southwest Huskers taking on the South Central Hogs for the Southern Plains Football Championship. It is this Saturday night at Trojan Field at 7 p.m. Saw Blake Schroeder saying that there's going to be some free hot dogs for fans, face painting for the kids, and they're asking fans to dress up in black for a blackout in support of the Huskers. So head to the it's going to be a fun one to watch. Coach Ken McCuen, we appreciate the time, and best of luck in the championship game here Saturday.
And, you know, Jared, we appreciate what the Worthington community has given back to us and the sponsorships and the fans. And we just want to give back to Worthington another championship, and we feel that that's what we're going to do.
All right, so fill the fans in support of the Huskers this Saturday. Coach, appreciate the time, and best of luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Jared. Have a great day.
You too. More on the Tri-State Sports Talk after this on AM 730 KWOA.